delivering 6 times stronger natural immunity to fake news. It's the Charlie Kirk Show.
All right, welcome back. Listen, let's face it. If you have private student loans that are distressed or defaulted, nobody's coming to bail you out. Bankruptcy is not an option, but you can take charge of your situation by contacting our friends over at YRefi. There is over $300 billion of private student loan debt in the United States, and about $45 billion of that is labeled as distressed. So if that's you, you need to check out YRefi. You need to call them today, 888-YRefi34, YRefi.com. Check them out ASAP. They're good people, patriots. They love this country. They love what Turning Point does. They love this show. You got to check them out. Bad credit is accepted. You can even skip a payment every 6 months up to 12 times without penalty. And here's the key. They're going to take your loan situation, if you're defaulted or distressed on your private student loans, and they're going to custom tailor a solution to fit you. They don't care what your credit is. They don't care what your history is. They don't care how many bills are stacking up on your kitchen table. That's the point. They will work with you when others will not. So call them, 888-YRefi34, or log on to YRefi.com. That's YREFY.com. May not be available in all 50 states, but you need to check it out. Make sure, see if they can help you. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the Charlie Kirk Show. We got a couple emails here, Blake.
We got a bunch of good emails in that break.
Freedom at charliekirk.com. Freedom at charliekirk.com.
First, I want to shout out Nancy, who just messaged us to say that she was just baptized at the age of 63, and she gives Charlie credit for that decision. Thank you very much. God bless you, Nancy. Wanted to shout that out. We got an email from one of our biggest fans, Steve at American Tactics AZ. He sends us a Bible verse every day, along with a lot of responses.
Thank you, Steve.
And he says, Senator Mark Kelly accused President Trump of calling for Kelly's execution. I claim balderdash on that accusation as a lifelong resident of Arizona. This pathetic excuse of an elected official who is a transplant has placed an enormous stain on the great state of Arizona. We need to bring Arizona back to full-on red. Amen, Steve. We're working on that. Obviously, we're going to keep working.
Yeah, I mean, he's, you know, what's funny about him is I look at Mark Kelly, you know, here he is invoking the name of Charlie, you know, because President Trump said, you know, he's doing seditious things. So obviously, one of the potential penalties is the death penalty. Okay, that's I get it. That's inflammatory. No. That's probably the max. Yeah. It's probably not going to happen.
Now, Grace sent us an email.
But hold on. For him to bring up Charlie's name is I find it really despicable, actually. And so anyways, go ahead, Grace.
Well, Grace says, come on, guys. Charlie would demand we arrest and charge. Constitutional justice, yes to death penalty. I am calling for the military to follow.
Here's Phyllis. Of course they should all be convicted of sedition. They are all guilty of trying to undermine the President of the United States. Nothing will happen, though. They are all getting away with everything. Well, I think this is why Secretary Hegseth is sounding the tone that he's sounding, is because I think there is like a genuine fundamental just frustration within the base that these people keep getting away with it, right? We're going to have Mike Davis on in the second half of this hour. We're going to be talking about Letitia James, Comey. It looks like the DOJ is going to be appealing that court case that has been thrown out because of a technicality, basically, on the legality of Lindsay Halligan's appointment as a first step. So they're going to be appealing that. But in general, there is a feeling of frustration that some of these people, these wrongdoers, these people that have, I think, done illegal things, and it's been proven, and they keep getting away with it. This is a video, a social media video that was designed to be provocative and cute. But the problem is the underlying message here, Blake, was that they were undermining and sowing doubt. And by the way,
you have to be. Sedition is a dicey word to use. That's, as I like to point out to Charlie, treason is defined in the Constitution. It's defined narrowly as, you know, it has to be levying war against the United States or giving aid and comfort, and you need at least 2 witnesses. That's all because our founders knew English history, and in English history, treason and sedition, you know, related laws were used a lot for domestic political reasons against, you know, just domestic foes, and they were very worried about that. And we saw that ourselves. We saw that with January 6th, where they were hunting around to bring a sedition case against President Trump, against his supporters. In the end, they settled for mostly just indicting hundreds and hundreds of his followers and convicting and sending them to prison. And we were very angry at that. We were very angry at that overreach. And quite plausibly, that overreach is why Trump is president again.
Yeah, it's important not to overreach.
There's both damage you can do to the country by really aggressively pursuing this, and also damage you can do to yourself politically. And you always have to take account for that.
Well, and here's what I will say. You know, when you talk about overreach, there's a clip here from Mark Kelly. Listen, I find Mark Kelly to be pretty despicable, actually. I feel like I see right through Mark Kelly. I don't see the strength that other people see, or this like stand-up serviceman that served his country. And like I said, there is an oppo file on Mark Kelly in the state. But here's what's interesting. I do agree with you that I'm not sure how far we want to take this fight from a political standpoint. Listen, you in the base, you in the audience, you get what he was trying to do. He's undermining the president of the United States, sowing doubt, sowing confusion. But he has this ace in the hole, and you gotta acknowledge it. When you're gonna fight a battle, you gotta understand what you have in your favor, what is working against you. Play 161.
Donald Trump called for my execution. I know a little bit about political violence. My wife, Gabby, was nearly assassinated. She was shot in the head because of political violence. She nearly died. These are the kind of threats that this president makes. Not just to me, some of my colleagues as well. Just this week, he did this. Threatened our lives, said we should be hanged because of something we said.
So he's got this trump card, if you will. And it is, what happened to his wife is egregious, terrible. I mean, especially in the wake of what happened to Charlie, I get it. So you just have to be careful about the battle you're going to fight. Now, that's why I say, listen, he's going to get investigated. The White House is saying that they fully support it. You cannot have a functioning military when you have elected leaders, especially of the profile, Mark Kelly and Slotkin, saying, you know, don't trust the commander-in-chief, right? That is sowing discord within the ranks. The White House is supporting of this investigation. I think we're going to find ourselves in an administrative solution. That's my prediction. Mike Davis joins us next.